Good morning, everyone. So, with Dark Tide being out, I've been really getting into 40K lore a lot more than I ever was before. I was more into like Age of Sigmar lore. But 40K is dope. And if you're also new to it, then welcome. I want to try my hand at making some lore videos, and today I'd like to talk about the little Ratlings in 40K. So I'm sure you've all been sitting there with your team, suddenly see this red laser beam just point directly into your cornea, and you're like, oh.
Oh my god. Is it in my eyeball? Yes. I think he's burning my eye.
And then, next thing you know, your fucking health is chunked. Yep. Most likely a Ratling did this. Ratlings so far, aside from greenskins, are probably the best thing I've heard about the 40K universe. Um, Long story short, think of them as hobbits. Literally just think of them as hobbits. Little short stunties with hairy feet. But then take a hobbit and mix it with a criminal. That's basically a ratling. So obviously these ratlings aren't really human. They're abhuman. And if you're not a human in the Imperium of Man in 40K, you're kind of untrustworthy. Sorry. But yeah. So I guess they just have such a crazy story. They had thousands of years of inbreeding on like different worlds, different climates, just eating weird shit. They're just like they're the unfortunate underlings of human society, I guess. They just fell through the cracks and got fucked up. They're short, they're not strong, they have voracious appetites, they lie, they are very friendly and extremely sexually promiscuous. So if you ever meet a ratling in real life, expect it to hump your leg. And like I said, they get drunk, they eat. They're hobbits, but on crack. Like they're just loud, obnoxious. Like imagine taking Bomber and breeding him with Bilbo Baggins, and then throwing him down into like a hive city. That's what you would get. The Imperium doesn't really trust them, like I said. However, they have a use for them. While they are not really strong, they're not great warriors. There is one role they really excel in, and that's highlighted in Dark Tide, and that is being a sniper. For some reason, they just have the great ability to aim good. Another noteworthy skill of theirs is the fact that, it also goes along with them being kind of hobbit-like. Apparently, they're really great cooks. And I kind of want to get into some of the noteworthy ratlings in a second here, but apparently they're amazing cooks. Some of them go on like these deep dive journeys way down into like or hive cities, and just try and find these rare plants, rare animals to throw in their slop pot. And it's funny because their kitchens also serve as fronts for illegal activity. So you might get a little Poxhound dumpling with your Poxwalker pus soup, but you also get a little crack rock with it, you know what I'm saying? So, they're in there, they're whipping up cookies and whatnot, and then they also get you high and drunk. So, I don't know. They seem like my people. And as I said, your characters will talk about how untrustworthy they are.
Now we gotta take some
The veteran sharpshooters seem to like them
like that.
out of everybody,
Yeah, perfect.
which makes sense because the veteran sharpshooters seem to have pretty high respect for people with good aim. Like I was saying, there's a couple noteworthy ratlings that I just want to talk about for a second. So the first one I'd like to talk about is there's only two, right? There's one more after this, but the next one I want to talk about is Magog. So long story short, in the Damocles Gulf Crusade, which if you don't know what that is, I don't really either, but I think that I'm liking this lore so much that I might make a video on that too, just because fuck it, right? So long story short, the Imperial Guard that, he was a part of, they were advancing on Galbarin City, which was a Tau capital, which if you don't know what a Tau is, it's these blue bitches, bald fucking blue man group guys. I don't know how that got in there, sorry about that. But yeah, so Magog and his little squad, they went ahead of this Imperial Guard advance, and they came upon this huge force of Blue Man Group people with a bunch of tanks, right? And they were like, well, shit, we're dead. To their surprise, this whole group stopped like 300 meters from their position. So Magog took this opportunity to look down the scope of his gun. He's like, oh yeah, all right. I like that. I like your cut, G. And he blew this Tau Ethereal's head right off his shoulders. Which basically the entire squad, tanks and everyone, just was like, oh, right? I mean, think about when you get hit with a sniper in fucking 40k Darktide, right? You just want to piss your pants. Well, that's basically what everyone did. Bunch of blue pee-pee everywhere. And Magog, not only did he achieve the first kill of a Tau Ethereal, but he taught the whole Imperium a lesson on how to handle these guys. Alright, so the last Ratling that I really want to talk about is Bigby Crumb. I think he's hilarious. I think he's probably the funniest story I've ever read about a Ratling so far. So he's stationed on Necromunda, put in the Underhive of the Hive Primus, right? And he's a cook. He's a slopper. Sorry, they call them sloppers. So the fact that he's actually a really good cook. His price is high, and
I'm glad that works for you.
if you really want to hire this guy, you have to join him on his little ingredient hunts, which is actually super dangerous and kind of insane. So he goes way down into like the bad zones of the Underhive. Give me my little alien broccoli. So he's trying to find all these fruits, vegetables, plants, whatever. And like I said before, he's finding these little Underhive city dwelling animals. He's just going down there, ripping them apart, putting them in a slop pot, which I think is, just imagine that, a little fat hobbit going down just scavenging so that he can cook. I don't know why that's so funny to me. It's speculated with him that, everyone sees him trying to make these new recipes, right? Trying to just add these new recipes, maybe expand his menu, maybe make the first Ratling restaurant. But it's speculated that it's possible that he actually is trying to enter the Hive Primus' spire, be the personal cook for them, which would make sense because, pay is nice there.
Just tell him to hurry up, then.
So, yep, that's it on the Ratlings. I was interested in who these little Ratlings they were always talking about in Darktide were. And I was not disappointed by the stories that I read. I think they're funny. I think they bring a little bit of comedy to the 40k universe. And I'm hoping that they maybe add like a faction of Ratlings to the game, although it might be too similar to the sharpshooter. I don't know. We'll see what they do with that. Anyways, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.
Where is he?